Hello there guys, LazyBeast there, I hope you're doing well today. What I've got for you now is a complete guide to World of Warcraft in 2021. This is going to be good for if you're a brand new player and you have no idea what to do, or if you've returned from like a long time ago, because a lot has changed. And what I want to do is put this guide together in a few chunks, so it's not going to be one massive long video. You might only need help with a certain part of the game, so if that's the case then you can just go to that section. I'm going to put these in a nice playlist so everything's going to be nice and accessible. I'm planning on covering absolutely everything you can think of in World of Warcraft, so if there is a specific thing that you need help with that I don't cover, do let me know in the comments on one of the videos and I will get around to covering that for you, because obviously it's probably going to help a lot of people out as well. So I'm going to cover, in this video, it's going to be starting off like your first steps in World of Warcraft, choosing your realm, choosing your first character creation, and your interface and everything when you first load into the game. Then in the other videos we're going to cover things like your combat abilities, your action bars, key bindings, talents, all that sort of stuff. A second video on gear and stats and items and all that sort of thing, where to find gear. We'll do another video on combat and movement, the camera, all that sort of thing. And then where to go when you start out leveling. So that's one of the most confusing things for new players when you first starting out. Where do you go? What do you do? What should you focus on? So we'll do a video on that. There'll be another one on other people in the game. Obviously this is an MMORPG, so you're going to be interacting with other people as much as you want to, basically. So, you know, where can you find groups? Where can you find a guild? Where do you go for dungeons and raids and all that sort of stuff? How to navigate the world, that's going to be another video. Portals, flight masters, all those sort of things. And then we'll do a video on PvP, you know, what the sort of systems are there, introduction to that. And we'll do a video on add-ons, installing add-ons, and there's going to be plenty of other things as well. So it's going to be quite a big series, this, guys, and I'll just be as concise as possible and just get to the point and not waste your time and just get you started off in this game. So what will happen first of all when you very first install the game and open World of Warcraft, you'll be taken straight to this screen, which is the character creation screen. Now you've got your alliance on this side and your horde on this side. These are all your races, and at the bottom you've got your classes. Now we're not going to mention specs yet because that's not appropriate right now. So what you can do is choose who you want to be. Basically this is going to be the biggest thing, the biggest decision that you'll probably ever make in World of Warcraft. And you can obviously make other characters. You can make 50 characters per World of Warcraft account, so you've got plenty of options. You know, you can make as many characters as you like. You can only have, I think it's 14 characters per realm right now. I think it might be 15. So yeah, what you want to do, if you hover over things and you want to know more, you can right click and it'll tell you a bit about each race. And if you go on here, it won't tell you more about the specs right now, but it will tell you briefly what they can do. So, you know, a rough, quick little overview there, what each thing can do. You can get a preview of the abilities if you click on these, and if you change a spec, sorry, not a spec, a class, it'll show you some of the abilities, so you can get a feel for how that race and class look when they combine together. So once you've chosen who you want to be, you can click on customize and you can make a name. And if you type in a name such as, you know, Dave, that's going to be taken. If you just wait there a minute, oh, that name isn't available, so you can check. It will tell you at the top. So if you obviously choose like Dave XXL, got a big Dave, then that name is available. So there you go, you can choose that, so you don't need to worry about pressing OK and getting everything sorted, and then you realise your name is taken. So you can get your name out of the way first. That is probably one of the other hardest decisions that you're ever going to make about your character in World of Warcraft. So here we've got Dave, that can't be called Dave, and you can choose all your other options here. You can either click this and then choose from there, or you can just scroll across if you want to do it that way. It's up to you. And different races have different options. So these guys, the Vulpera, only have 2. If you go to something like an orc and then you go female, you can customize. These guys have 3 options. So you got obviously the normal ones here, then you got these extra ones, and then you got the body ones like tattoos and things like that. So have a play around and, you know, spend some time thinking what you really want to do. It is important to consider roles. So when you're on this character creation screen, if you know you want to be a tank, then have a little look at which classes can be a tank. What I'll do as well is link some links in the description, which are going to take you to other guides on the classes and the races, so you can get a lot more info than what it gives you right here. There's no harm though in just creating a class, leveling it up a little bit and just seeing how it is. If you like the feel of it, then obviously you can stick with it. If not, you can change. Just have a play around. It's important for the first time not to rush through. You don't have to stick with a character. It's quite quick to level up these days in World of Warcraft, so it's not a huge time investment and loss if you do decide to change characters. And you can always come back to them, so, you know, don't stress about it. It's important at this point to consider your realm. So when you first go into World of Warcraft as a brand new player, what will likely happen is it might put you on a very low population realm, or even a new player realm, which doesn't matter massively, but it does when you get more towards into the end game, because things like your auction house might not be as populated, therefore prices might be higher. It may be more difficult to find groups, but the thing is, a lot of these realms, even though they used to be separate, a lot of things are now cross-realm, so you can find groups for most things cross-realm, but the only things that you can't do cross-realm are guilds, with exception of linked realms. This is where it gets a bit confusing. For example, Emerald Dream and Tyrannus are linked realms, so you can be on Emerald Dream, like I am, and I could be in a guild with somebody on Tyrannus, but no other realms. Now, every realm has a linked realm. You can see which ones are linked by going on the World of Warcraft official website and looking at the linked realms on there. Again, I'll link that in the description below so you can check. But if you've got a friend that's on a specific realm, what I suggest you do, before you create your character, find out which realm your friend's on, and then come back out of the character creation screen. So back out of here, go up to change realm, choose that realm that your friend's on, and make your character on that realm. Okay, so that's realms and character creation done. So once you've made it, you'll be taken to this screen and you can click on enter the world. So what I'm going to do for the sake of this tutorial is make a new character. I'm going to go LazyBeast new, and we're going to just jump in. I'm going to leave everything as it is and not waste time, and show you what happens when you make your character. So you should, if you're a brand new player and you've never played the game before, you will automatically be taken to Exile's Reach, I believe. I can't test this obviously because I've not got a brand new account. So you will go to Exile's Reach, which is the best thing. This is a new leveling introduction scenario that was made by Blizzard recently that came in with Shadowlands. That's basically just a lot more modernized, and it teaches you a lot better about the game when you first sign in. So if you've not played for a long time, or you're a brand new player, you need to do Exile's Reach. That's the best thing to do, so let's log into that. And then once you're done, you can click enter world and off you go. Okay, so here we are, your first character. So you're on the boat, you've watched a little introduction video, and now you're ready to start your adventure in World of Warcraft. So here we are. So when you move, you'll notice your interface. So this is very simplified. I've turned off all my add-ons for this video, so there's nothing extra. This is exactly how you should see the game when you first load in. So you've got your action bar down here. This is where you're going to put all your spells. You can click on these, pick them up and drag them. By default, your action bar is locked, so what you can do is press shift and click it, and now you can drag it around and drop it wherever you want to be. Now, the thing that might be different here is the keybinds. So I've set my keybinds differently, but what I'll do, I'll go into that a bit later. So you've got your chat panel here, and this is your combat log. So this is whenever you're engaged in combat, it records everything so you can see what's going on there. If you get killed by something, you're not sure what it was, you can have a look in there. And this is where all the chat will come. So chat from other players, chat from NPCs, anybody that whispers you, that'll come into here. You got your character tab here, and obviously you can see this is your target. So once I've clicked on me, if I click on Captain Garrett there, she'll become the target there. And same for this NPC here. So NPC is a non-player character, so that's anyone that's not actually, got a player behind it. So all these guys here are NPCs. There's no other players actually here. So you've got your minimap here. Now obviously this is just black because we're in the middle of the sea. Now to open your map, you press M. You can't actually see much now because, like I say, we're in the middle of the sea, so there's no actual map for this part here. Now you can zoom in and out by either scrolling up and down over the minimap or pressing these buttons here. There we go, but you don't need to do all that right now. So here you got your what is known as your mini bar. Now this is full of helpful stuff. So your menu, you see there the keybind for that is escape. So you press escape, then that'll come up, or you can click there, and you got the shop, other things. Now some of these aren't available yet, but they will be as you level up. So you see that one becomes available at level 10. This is your collections, so they do all have keybinds, so shift and P. Bear these in mind and just get used to them as you're playing through. Very useful for saving time. The main ones you'll be using are L for the quest log, M for the map, and C for your character panel, which is this, and P for your spells and abilities. By default, when you get a new spell or ability, so at level 2, you'll learn a new spell, that will go straight onto your action bar. But over time, you might want to, move these around and put them in a place that feels better for you. Okay, so let's start by talking. So you can click on NPCs, you can left click or right click, it doesn't really matter. You get options if you hover over an NPC panel, or if you target a player like yourself, for example. If you right click on this, you get some more options, so you can put a marker on. This is more useful for like when you're raiding or if you're doing PvP or something. You can get rid of that by going on it again and just clicking none. You can set focus, that'll give you another one. Now, if you want to move these, you can right click and then unlock frame and move it. So I'm just going to put that over there for now because it's not really relevant. So I'll lock that. We're going to clear focus. So again, you got the other options. Loot specialization, we'll go into this later. Dungeon difficulty, none of this really matters for you right now. So we'll leave that as it is. So you got your first quest. So this is the quest panel window. So you can just accept or decline. You're going to be accepting this quest. And you want to warm up by fighting a combat dummy. So I'm going to talk you through some other settings. So let's have a look at the menu. So the main menu. There's another player. You can see that because she's got a name above her head there. So she's called Magic. So let's have a look at the options. So you've got your support there. If you run into any issues, you can go into this. It takes a little second to load. But this is where you can submit a ticket to a Game Master or GM for short. If you run into any real issues and you're really stuck, then you can do that. But most of the time you can find help online. That's obviously not loading up. The shop's there, self-explanatory. Now system. So you may want to change things here. So you can go on UI scale if you want to. Now this is scaled it crazy. It will do it automatically if you want it to. Let's put that back to 1. You can change resolution. There's all these settings through here. I'm not going to go through every single one. It give you a recommended one that you can stick to. It'll read your system settings, and so it's usually better off just to stick with that. Raid and battleground. Now these can be very hectic. If you've not got like a top-notch PC or you're playing on something that's quite old or like a laptop or something, you might want to turn these down. I recommend that you do this because as soon as you get into like a huge team fight, you're going to struggle, so knock it right down if you want to. You can keep certain settings high. For example, your view distance, you might want to keep that higher up if you're doing battlegrounds, so you can see, when the enemies are coming quicker. You can see them, more in advance. But turn everything else down if you want to, but that's totally up to you. You've got your advanced settings here, which is again more graphical things. So that's up to you, depending on your computer. Network settings, you don't really need to know about this. Languages, sound. There's a couple of things in there that you might want to do. You might want to adjust these. So it's always nice. I have like the ambience high. Just feels more immersive. Turn the music down. You can turn the music to not loop. Setting just there, loop music, because sometimes, say you're in a city, it's nice when you first walk in to hear the music. But if you're going to be spending quite a bit of time in there, you might not want that blaring in your ears. So you can turn that down. And you've got a lot of other options there. So it's all personal preference. Voice chat, something we'll dig into a bit more later. But there's your settings for that. It's pretty self-explanatory. So there we go. Now, got your interface settings here. Now, sticky targeting just means basically when you click something, you can run around and do stuff. You need to press escape, to get it off. It's quite handy. Just make sure you don't make any, sort of mistakes or accidentally detarget something and start casting spells, but at the wrong thing. So I usually have that enabled. Auto cancel away mode. Yep. So when you move or talk, it'll stop you from being AFK. Auto loop. I do recommend having this enabled because even just picking up grey things and white things, you can sell them and get quite a bit of passive gold coming in through there. You can obviously disable this by pressing the shift key when it's on, or pressing it when you got this turned off, you press the shift key to auto loop. When you got this turned on, you press the shift key to not auto loop, so it's works in the opposites. Interact on left click, which is what I've been doing. It's easier. You can turn that off and interact on right click if you want to. An open loot window up mouse. That just makes it easier when you're looting a lot of different things, so you don't have to keep on moving over to wherever the loot window's set to click it. You can just click it straight away because it's right near your mouse. So combat, target of target, that will just give you another one of these. As you can see, this guy here, when he targets something, it pops up there. You see that? So you can see if someone's targeting you or targeting your friend if you're a healer, so you know when to heal them. Scrolling combat text, that's personal preference. It just puts text up at the side. You can look at that. And these are more advanced settings, but we'll get into them later. Display rotate minimap will just move it around when you move. There's a lot of other things in here. So in-game navigation, I do recommend you keep this on. You can turn it off if you want to be more sort of immersed in the world and read the quest text and figure out where to go yourself. But that's very handy and good at saving your time. Social, again, a lot of options there. What I suggest you do is go through these and just all personal preference, just see what you want to do. But I do recommend that you put these on. So we've got the bottom left, you see that's popped up there. Bottom right, that's added these bars here, and then the right bar and the right bar too. So you can see I've got all my keybinds on here already. So I'll briefly show you that and just explain what that's all about. But I have these up so you can basically put, like, what I tend to do is put your combat abilities here, your main combat abilities, and then I put like utility items here such as food, potions, mounts, hearthstones, all that sort of stuff. I keep that away to the side because you use it, you know, but not all the time. So you might not want that right over here. And show numbers for cooldowns, this is just so like if I cast this spell, say this spell had a cooldown, it would just show a number counting down there so you can see and be more alert as to when that number's back up. So as for your keybinds, like I briefly mentioned, keybinds are basically just any, see the letters here. So if I press E, it'll cast whatever spell is on this. So there we go, click on this and press E, it'll cast that spell. So you can say that that key is keybound to E. I'm actually going to keybind that to S. It's just what I usually have that spell on. So you can change keybinds here. So you can see that I've got move backward, unbound, but by default the usual movement keys are W, A, S, and D. W for forward, S for backward, A for turn left, and D for turn right. You can bind any of these and change any of these to whatever you want. Whatever feels good for you, you can change all that. But the only ones that I end up changing are usually the action bar ones. So these are my keybinds. These are what I've just developed to over time. When you first start the game, what you might want to do is change these ones. So this is called your multi-action bar, and you can see there what I've changed here. So you can copy these if you want to, but I recommend that you do, you know, just over time figure out your own. As you level up through Warcraft, you'll get a lot of spells. You get quite a lot of spells as you're leveling up. So you can see if you go into press P and see spellbook, you can see when you'll unlock these spells. So you can see that you get them quite steadily as you're leveling up. So you're going to end up with quite a lot of things on your action bars. Now I do recommend that you get into keybinding your abilities as quickly as possible to get used to it. You can click your abilities, but it's much slower, and you're going to be able to react a lot quicker if you keybind them. So something to just like think about as you're leveling up and gaining new spells. So it's time to do your first quest. So what we're going to do is just kill these dummies. So I'm going to kill a dummy. Okay, and once that's done, you can see the quest has gone orange, so you can right click or left click, complete the quest, and then you get a new one. And you can see XP bars popped up there, so when that gets full, that's when you level up. So we're going to move forward, pressing W, and accept this new quest, and this is where you get to spar with this guy. So I'm turning around using A there to turn. Target him by clicking on him. You can move around as you target him. So I'm going to start combat with him, casting spells. He's going to run up to me because I'm in combat with him. You can see his bar turned orange. Now what I need to do here is turn. Just telling me to turn. So I'm going to turn around. There's quicker ways to do this, and we'll get into that in the next video. So you can see we're leveled up there. We got that spell. If I want to move it, it's shift and click to move it around. But I'm going to leave it on there bound as 1. You can see we're leveled up to level 2. So quest is orange question mark, so we can turn that in. And he gives us another quest. Okay, so that's the first thing done. You've got your character made, you've started Exile's Reach, and hopefully you feel comfortable with moving around. You've got your first couple spells. What I'll do, I'll end this video here. In the next video, we'll talk about combat and the camera and moving around during combat particularly, and, you know, a bit more information on that. So thanks for watching this, guys. I've been LazyBeast, and I'll catch you in the next video.